Plenty to get to as we go through a mock draft talking about the Houston Texans. They have got to add some offensive firepower. Let's figure out how to get that in this mock draft that we're going to do together here on the YouTube channel. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans. Let's talk about the 2025 NFL draft. And as we sit here less than 3 weeks away from the first round of the NFL draft, I still, as I did when the season ended, feel like the Houston Texans have got to go out there and add some wide receiver talent to the equation. Look, they added Christian Kirk, Justin Watson, and Braxton Berrios here so far this offseason. Kirk via trade, Berrios and Watson via free agency, but they still need more. Now, the grand plan a year ago about this time was, hey, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. And whatever they did with Diggs, he moves on after 1 year. They were still going to have Tank Dell, Nico Collins. You could add to that equation. Obviously, Tank Dell's injury changes things drastically for the Houston Texans. Nico Collins, the only wide receiver that you can count on for the Houston Texans right now. Look, you'd love to count on Christian Kirk long-term. You can count on him a little bit here in 2025, but he's coming off of 2 seasons drastically affected by freak injuries that popped up. You've got to add some bodies and some top-end potential and talent to that wide receiver room. Now, obviously, how you operate at 25 or when you draft that wide receiver on day 2 changes the way that you would go about figuring out the rest of the wide receiver room. So we'll get into that mock draft here in just a moment. Super Chats go to the front of the line. Memberships are indeed active on the channel. They give you some special perks such as the custom emojis, early access to videos, and so on and so forth. We certainly appreciate everybody who has become a member on the channel and certainly appreciate the super chats like the one from our friend HDAV Traveler. Let the good times roll. Hopefully the good times will be rolling when the draft gets here in less than 3 weeks. April 24th is the first round, a live stream on the S&L channel, myself and Landry Locker. April 25th is the second and third round, a live stream on the S&L channel that night as well. And then April 26th, mark your calendars, a get-together talking about the first 2 days of the draft, watching the third day of the draft. You do not want to miss out on that. Details will be headed your way. HDAV Traveler, appreciate you for the super chat. Let's get into this mock draft. I like the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator. So we will start with that as the Houston Texans are currently slated to pick 25th, 58th, 79th, 166th, 236th, and 241st in this upcoming draft. Let the draft machine start. Let's see what the Houston Texans can come up with when the 25th pick gets there. Pretty chalky to start here. Ashton Jeanty to the Jacksonville Jaguars is intriguing. Not out of the realm of possibility. There goes Matthew Golden. Again, we're trying to add a wide receiver to the Houston Texans, potentially 2 wide receivers to the Houston Texans here. So, Kelvin Banks Jr. goes off the board at 24th. Half the damn league wants to trade for this draft pick. Let's take a look at what is available for the Houston Texans. Again, trying to add 2 wide receivers to the equation. And there's a fun one right here in Luther Burden. Omarion Hampton at running back. Colston Loveland all the way here at tight end. I do not believe Colston Loveland will be available for the Houston Texans. I do not believe he's going to be there at 25. But you look at what happened in front of the Texans, and some edge rushers pushed him down the board. A linebacker pushed him down the board. Colston Loveland is an intriguing player because he is a pseudo wide receiver. He is a pass-catching tight end. He was fantastic at the University of Michigan. I know that you're saying to yourself 582 yards and 5 touchdowns. Isn't that great? Neither is 649 and 4 touchdowns. He was the offense. He was the receiving offense for the Michigan Wolverines in 2023 and 2024. I mean, he is a impressive pass catcher. The run blocking, the pass blocking leaves a little bit to be desired, I'm sure. And there's some elements of that need to improve. But to me, it's really between Loveland and Luther Burden. And with no tight end on the roster beyond this upcoming season that you feel good about from a pass catching standpoint, because I don't believe Dalton Schultz is playing the third year of his contract. And I don't know that I feel great about Brevin Jordan in this upcoming season. I like Colston Loveland. He helps out with the pass catching situation, and the Texans get themselves a receiving tight end that can also offer some blocking there. Luther Burden goes a couple picks later to the Baltimore Ravens. Tyler Booker to the Philadelphia Eagles is a fun one. Now, still need some offensive linemen. Still need wide receivers. There should be some on the board when we get there. That wait to 58 is a long one. Probably not doing much of a trade-up situation here. There goes Trey Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins. 3 of the 4 picks right there going to be running backs right before the Texans get on the board. Let's take a look at the wide receiver situation right now. We'll have to go get running backs a little bit later. There should be some wide receivers available for us a little bit later on. Jalen Royals is a crowd favorite. No, not my favorite. There's some interesting options here. Let's see what's on the interior of the offensive line as we look at tackles and interior offensive linemen. So not a lot to love. There's a couple of offensive linemen that should be there the next time we're taking a swing. So I feel like we probably need to go with one of these wide receivers here. Kyle Williams' ascension in this draft has been fascinating to watch. I enjoyed him at the Senior Bowl. He played really well there. I'm going to go with Trey Harris from Ole Miss. Clear outside guy, a guy that can go up and win contested catches, has got some speed for his size. You look at the production there at Ole Miss this season. He didn't even play all the games, went over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. I just like the potential of Trey Harris, though he did beat up on some iffy talented teams. We're going to continue to add some wide receivers. I feel like it's a little early for Kyle Williams. Omar Norman Lott to the Chiefs is an intriguing play. A couple of linemen have started to sneak off the board here, making me a little nervous. I've got to get myself a lineman here. Anybody who's watched the show knows that I'm a big fan here of Tate Ratledge and what he can bring to the table. He started and played a ton of football for the Georgia Bulldogs. Just 2 sacks allowed over 3 seasons, primarily playing right guard for the Bulldogs. Ratledge is one of my favorite players. I draft him anytime I can. And Tate Ratledge comes off the board there at 79. If another wide receiver I like is there at 89, I'm going to turn the card in. And here we are, one of my favorites in this draft, Kyle Williams at 89 to go along with Colston Loveland, Trey Harris, and Tate Ratledge. Whew, boy, do I have a fun draft here. Now, 166 gets interesting because I really could use a running back. You got to hope one of them's available. Maybe a lineman that the Texans would like there at 166. It's a long wait all the way to that 5th round there. But we wait. And as I mentioned here, Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. Bit of a luxury pick. But the Texans get a long-term receiving option. Trey Harris and Kyle Williams go along with Tate Ratledge. This is one of the most fun mock drafts I feel like we have done here on the channel. As we let the mock draft machine roll on, let's go H-Town. Cody, I just heard a statistic that we got rid of the second worst pass rush allowed and brought in the first and third worst. In WTF is this need a guard? So this is, I'm sure, about Ed Ingram, Laken Tomlinson, and this stat has made the rounds a couple of different times. Nobody's going to believe that Laken Tomlinson and Ed Ingram are worse at their jobs than Shaq Mason and Kenyon Green last year. Plus, the scheme change that I believe a lot of us are expecting should perhaps work better for Tomlinson and Ed Ingram as those two get settled here in the new system. Plus, those guys may not even play if the Texans are able to add a guy via the draft like Tate Ratledge, add multiple guys. Maybe they end up with multiple guards. But they're just options and bodies. And those teams that they played on, what if it just didn't work for those guys? What if it, like, you can't be too individual in the stats that those guys had at the offensive line situation. So appreciate the super chat there. Let's go H-Town. Let's see what's on the board here for the Texans. Again, Colston Loveland, Trey Harris, Tate Ratledge, and Kyle Williams. The first four picks. D'Amico Ryans is banging on the door, trying to get into the draft room to get a defensive player. He may have to wait, though, because we're going to take a look at the running backs that are available. Kyle Monagai is a guy that could right away do some of the things that Daria Gumbawale does. Could do some pass blocking, some special team stuff. Obviously, you got to grow into the experience that Daria Gumbawale has, but Monagai is an intriguing player. Taj Brooks would be a fun player to pair with Joe Mixon. Brooks surprised some people with his athleticism at the scouting combine, and look at the production. Over 3,000 yards rushing the past 2 seasons, 27 touchdowns for the Texas Tech Red Raider, who went to my great alma mater. But let's take a look at some of these other positions. We're not going with a wide receiver or a tight end. We're in good shape there. Let's take a look at some of the offensive linemen that are available, maybe even a safety and a defensive lineman as well. So as we look around here, Jonah Monahan would be a fun pick here. Jonah Monahan was the center for USC, and I know the Texans talked to him at the scouting combine, and they throw the ball a ton there for the Trojans do. And as you see, just a couple of sacks allowed. Again, a player that has played a lot of football at the college level. Ty Robinson is an intriguing defensive lineman. So is Tafuna. I'm having a tough time here deciding between Taj Brooks and Jonah Monahan. Does the chat have any sort of deep feel one way or the other versus center/interior offensive lineman and running back? Let's look at the top of the board here. Longer beam, the corner. Dante Thornton would be a fun one, but we already have 2 wide receivers. Texan speed looks for the offensive lineman. Herb Gotti's got some second guessing of my drafting abilities. All right, I get a lot of people saying O-lineman. Let's go with the center. Let's go with the interior offensive lineman. Let's go with Monahan and see what happens here as the draft machine rolls. Don't tell me it froze again. Boy, why does it do this to me in the midst of good drafts? Okay, it rolled on there. There we go. I thought it froze again. Herb Gotti to Don. Should have went DT or running back or another guard instead of Trey Harris if you were going to draft Kyle Williams. Well, I didn't know Kyle Williams was going to be available. So I drafted Trey Harris, and then Kyle Williams became available a little bit later. Good Lord, that was like watching Kaimi kick us up close extra points. Now that's funny. Now that's funny. Yeah, I do get a little hot under the collar there when the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator freezes on me. All right, the picks keep clicking off the board. I got to imagine DeMeco Ryans is hoping for a defender here with one of these late picks here in the 7th round. Let's see what we get as we show up here. Reminder, the picks that we have already: Colston Loveland, Trey Harris, Tate Ratledge, Kyle Williams, and Jonah Monahan. We've gone all offense here so far, and my goodness, have we added some impressive offensive players to the equation. We could probably still use a running back, and DeMeco Ryans desperately wants us to draft a defensive player, but let's see if DeMeco will get his wish. All right, so Corey Kiner is an intriguing player here, and I want to talk a little bit about Kiner. As I read up about him and learned a little bit more about him, Kiner is actually, if I remember exactly, I don't know what the relationship is, but he is very good friends with Joe Mixon. So Kiner's friends with Joe Mixon. Kiner has a lot of want to in the pass blocking. He's had some success on the ground over the past 2 seasons for the Bearcats. And there's a lot of intrigue to me to Kiner as a late round player. Help you on special teams, fill out the running back room. He's obviously got a little bit of elusiveness to him. He's had some success in a couple of different types of rushing. You look at some of the success he's had, a couple of explosive plays to him. This is a player that's a little bit under the radar when it comes to the running back spot. Let's see if there's another name or two. Donovan Edwards kinda is an intriguing name. Let's take a look at defensive linemen. I'll get the running backs out of here. All right, nobody that I'm just dying to have from a defensive line standpoint. Is there a secondary? A guy in the secondary. Dan Jackson, I draft him a lot. A lot of mock drafts. Dan Jackson would be an interesting one. Is there a corner sitting around here? Mac McWilliams gets a lot of love from the people. You know what? DeMeco Ryans, keep knocking down the doors. We're getting a running back here. Kiner from Cincinnati. And because DeMeco Ryans loves those big school guys, could use another body there at the defensive back. I was going to draft Malachi Moore, but he went off the board right before. Is there an edge rusher? No. Is there a running back? No, we just drafted a running back. Interior lineman or a tackle? It's available in the tackle situation. Ew, not great. It's the top player on the board. A lot of wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, linebackers. A Georgia linebacker with a little bit of coverage. Move him around a little bit. Sure, we'll give DeMeco Ryans his one defensive player. So that wraps up this mock draft. We should get an A. Who knows what the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator is going to do. Diablo Valdez says, can we do another draft with you trading back? Well, he asked nicely. I don't know why we couldn't. All right, so the mock draft simulator didn't like Colston Loveland. They wanted us to draft Luther Burden. Didn't like Trey Harris, but Tate Ratledge, Kyle Williams, some depth pieces throughout the back part of the draft. Chat, what'd you give the draft? F through A, what'd you give the draft? Put it into the chat here. Put it into the chat. Colston Loveland in the first, Trey Harris in the second, Tate Ratledge in the third round, Kyle Williams 10 spots later, Jonah Monahan in the fifth, and a couple of seventh-round picks with Corey Kiner and Smail Mondin Jr. in the seventh. All right, so we're getting a C from Brandon, a B- from Diablo, a B+ from Gage, a C, a B, an A- from Texas Speed 3. He likes that. He likes that. Well, great first 4 picks. Let's download that. Hey, the folks want another mock draft. The folks can get another mock draft. We'll go a little bit faster here. A little bit more. A little bit of randomness. All right. The folks want a trade back mock draft. A trade back mock draft. Now, it's worth noting, this is what we got here. This is what we got in this most recent mock draft. A-, a B from Brian. Texans Tangents, great first 4 picks. Sean says A, 3 pass catchers with starting potential and a starting guard. Brandon says after the signings, they just need 1 good wide receiver in the draft. Yes and no. Christian Kirk's probably only a 1-year situation. So that was mock draft 1. The folks wanted another mock draft. Diablo was nice about it. Let's get another one. The goal here to trade back. All right, so we got some weirdness there at the top, but we don't worry too much here. Shamar Stewart going in the top 20 is feeling more and more likely. All right, so unfortunately, we got Kelvin Banks Jr. here. That would have been a nice selection. Luther Burden is a good player here. I don't know why the mock draft simulator doesn't like Colston Loveland. Brandon says, yeah, but Tank is either back next year or they can pick another. I mean, well, you sure Tank's back? All right, Diablo, you wanted this. You wanted the extra mock draft, but there's Kelvin Banks Jr. sitting right there. The Eagles and the Cardinals are our trade partners. Let's just see what happens if we go down to 32. No, Diablo says get Banks, trade the second. Okay. So Banks it is at 25. It'd be a dream scenario. Play a little guard, play a little tackle. Let's see here what happens at 58 as we got to try to trade back, get some more picks here. 82 and 97. 82 and 97 are our options. Okay, so they want 58. Can we sneak 92 out of them for 58? Can we also sneak 137 out of them? Let's send them 166. All right, so we move back here. Just didn't even look at the board, just move back. Diablo wanted to move back, we moved back. Okay. We've drafted Kelvin Banks. We've got 79, 82, 89, and 92. So we've got a lot of picks here coming up in the next few spots. Lots of stuff on the board here for us. Lots of stuff on the board here for us. Got safeties, we got guards, we got tackles. We already got a tackle that can play maybe guard right away. Let's see what the tight end situation is here. Harold Fanning Jr. All right, so we can wait on tight ends. Taking a look at this here. Let's go with a little bit more of a proven outside commodity here. A lot of receptions, speed. I mean, just absolute speed down the outside. He's one of the fastest guys at the wide receiver position. Play speed, that is. Let's get us Jalen Noel. Sean says, Ratledge there at 79. No way that happens. Ratledge feels like a day 3 guy. Feels like he's been a day 3 guy most of the time. That's what the running back situation looks like. Devin Neal. Jaden Blue. Isaiah Bond's an intriguing name. Trevor Etienne. We could maybe wait around a little bit for Trevor Etienne. Let's get D'Amico Ryans, one of the more impressive interior defensive linemen. Okay. CJ West has kind of held Indiana's defensive tackle situation and interior offensive line. He's kind of held it together a little bit. And if he's there at 89, we'll pick him. But we're picking Damian Martinez. I didn't see Martinez the first time through, so we're picking Martinez, hoping for the best. So West went off the board, but Martinez probably would have gone off the board as well. I mean, it's kind of hard not to pick my guy Ratledge again, huh? Already got Banks, already got Noel, already got Damian Martinez. Okay. There's a defender here that just feels like he jumps off the page. Parrish would be a really, really fun defensive back to add to the equation. Like him a lot. Got a little luxury. Pick again in 3 picks. I'll just draft Ratledge because, that's my guy. The Raiders want to trade with us. 108? Okay. If they want 92, will they give us a 3 next year? No. $108, 143, 180. Let's get rid of some of these late round ones here. All right, so we move back a little bit here. I'm getting a defensive player next time out. When we're on the clock, I'm getting a defensive player. And there he is. Oluwafemi Oladejo. Here's an intriguing play. Here's an intriguing element of Oluwafemi Oladejo. Oladejo is a former linebacker turned defensive lineman. And he's got some growing to do at that position. But the potential for him to show up and show out and turn into a nice player is there. And as a 4th round pick, it's a really fun selection there. Could probably use another wide receiver. Could use some tight end help as well. Let's see what 137 offers us here. There goes Jack Kaiser. That would have been a D'Amico pick. I mean, at this point, Kyle Williams hanging around would be fun. I really like Isaac Tesla. Martinez a little bit, a little bit pass catching to him. So don't really need to go Etienne or Jarquez Hunter or Brashard Smith. Pat Bryant does some different things. Tell you what, Urasek is a guy that just gets, he got really screwed in the draft process. Tell you what, I really like Billy Bowman. Going to be hard for me to not get Billy Bowman. All right, get D'Amico a little help on the defense here. As it swings back around to us here at 143. I don't believe Williams will be here. I do believe Tesla will be here. And he's got a pretty clear role as sort of a deep guy. Get deep out of the slot and help you on special teams. Let's get Tesla. And we got to get a tight end. Man, just haven't had the right moment for a tight end just yet. Would love to get one. There goes Jackson Hawes. That's who I would have picked. There goes Fedoni, my guy from Nebraska. We got a tight end here. Conyers is interesting. Dippery feels like a type of guy the Texans would like. We're not going to force it, though. Let's get another tackle here. We got Banks up at the top. He might be able to play guard. Brown could turn into, well, no, we got another offensive lineman. There's another interior guy. Let's get D'Amico Ty Robinson. Get him a defensive lineman. And there we are. Probably. See, they like CJ West more than Damian Martinez, but we get an A on Kelvin Banks. We get an A on Jalen Knoll. Martinez, Ratledge. Let's download the image, compare it. Grade this draft. Grade this draft here. Kelvin Banks Jr., he's a starter for you on the offensive line right away, either at guard or at tackle if he could beat out Big Cam Robinson. Jalen Knoll, he's your opposite guy. Opposite Nico Collins in 3 wide receiver sets and 2 wide receiver sets. Okay, you don't put him on the field, you put Christian Kirk out there. Damian Martinez, he's your complement back. And Tate Ratledge is a starter at guard for you right away. You could potentially have 2 guard starters here with Ratledge and Banks. Left guard for Banks, right guard for Ratledge. Oluwafemi Oladejo is a project defensive end. Billy Bowman Jr. is a safety that helps you right away on special teams, but also is a guy that can help you out in sets where maybe you're dropping CJ Gardner-Johnson into the slot from time to time. Tesla is just a Cody Stoots favorite, so we drafted him. He's a guy that can help you from the slot at wide receiver, maybe help you a little bit outside. Also a special teams guy right away, and then D'Amico Ryan's got himself a defensive lineman in Ty Robinson. Tight end gets ignored here a little bit. I do ultimately wonder what we could have done there at tight end. Let's go take a look and see what went after we picked Ty Robinson. So Prescorn from Ole Miss would have been intriguing. Conyers from Texas Tech. Dippery from Alabama. So there were some tight ends. So which draft do you like more? It feels like everybody likes draft number 2 more. Draft number 1 was sort of a offensive luxuries. I feel like we like drafts that have more than a handful of players. Banks, Knoll, Martinez, Ratledge, Oluwafemi Oladejo. I like this draft. This is a fun draft. My big thing is I could definitely see them moving around quite a bit in this draft, especially if somebody they don't love or is not there at 25. I could see them moving down from that very first one. So I'll offer it up to Q&As, whatever you got here for me the next 5 or so minutes. Be happy to answer. We got some couple of housekeeping things we'll get to here at the end. Evan asked, Cody, what is your favorite beer? I like the cold beer. Cold beer is my favorite. I don't have a favorite, but if somebody would like to sponsor the channel, I certainly could find myself a favorite. I do. If I go out there, I try to go by mood. I lean more light, and I don't like IPAs. Every now and then I'll throw a sour into the mix. But I was out at the bar the other night. I got a Crawford Bock. So a Crawford Bock, something that I like and enjoy from time to time. I do like ales and lagers the most. I lean a little bit closer to lagers because they're a little bit lighter. So David likes the mix and the more choices. Yeah, I mean the draft is fun. So the more swings you get at it, I do like it. Tyler Booker, the guard from Alabama, or Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas. I like Tyler Booker more. I like Kelvin Banks more because he can play tackle eventually for you. Cam Robinson is a one-year situation. Titus Howard, maybe he's only on this team one more year. Trent Brown's only on this team one more year. So I like Banks long-term and initially. Play him at guard and then bump him out there the tackle. Booker, he's only a guard. There's some athleticism concerns. He's not in the same class to me as Banks. I like Banks a lot more than Booker. I like a Modelo. I like Corona more, but I like Modelo. How many Sprites do you have left? More than a dozen because I bought another 12-pack. I really enjoyed the Sprite Zero Sugar Chill. Gage asks, feelings on Cade Stover. I like Cade Stover to come back and help in the run game right away. The receiving, we'll see how much that can develop. He's still young at the position. He hasn't played it a lot like some of the other tight ends have. His pass blocking's got to be much better. I'm intrigued to see what a NFL offseason does for him physically to his body and coming back what he looks like. But I have high hopes for Cade Stover to be a useful piece of this tight end room for the next few seasons. Yeah, they're still visiting with players, so there's still guys coming in. I'd have to go back and check and see how many people they've reportedly talked to. You get 30 visits, so. Cody, are you an alcoholic? Just curious. No, I'm not. I actually don't drink that often. It's not like I drink every night or even every weekend. I just know what I like when I do have beverages. What are your thoughts on Oregon tight end Terrence Ferguson? T-Ferg, as a lot of people refer to him as. T-Ferg is an incredible athlete. He said he models his game after Jeremy Shockey. I don't know if the physicality is totally there for T-Ferg, but Ferguson's a really nice player. He leans a little bit more receiving tight end than do-it-all tight end. But he'd be an intriguing player if he was there in the third round. Probably have to draft him at 58 if the Texans stay put there. So probably not going to be available there at 58. But if he was available in the third round, you could run that card up. Top 3 chocolate bars from Stoots. Okay, this is I love a 100-gram bar. I love a 100-gram bar. That's one of my favorite candy bars, 100 grand. And if you don't know what a 100-gram bar is, man, you got to go get you one. In fact, I will bring 100 grand bars to the draft party because I feel like too many people haven't had $100,000 bar. I love $100,000. I love $100,000 bar. So $100,000 bar is one of my 3 favorites. I love a Heath bar. Just a lot to like about a Heath bar, man. I really like a Heath bar. Heath's great. I mean, that's one of my go-to basic blizzards is a Heath bar blizzard. Then my third one is the Reese's. I think it's called the Take 5. The Reese's Take 5. Yeah, it's the Take 5. It's got it's got peanuts in it. It's got pretzels in it. I love a Take 5. A little salty, a little sweet. I love a Reese's Take 5. So $100,000, Heath bar, and a Take 5. No, I'm not 700 years old. It's a good question, Sean. Appreciate you. Nosh with a super chat. Cody 316 says, give me a hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Appreciate you for the super chat, Nosh. Thank you. Sean G says, you're in charge of one food change at NRG. What's the one new addition you are adding for us? Ooh, this is a good one. So this is kind of like big brain stuff here. I would do a specialty item every week that is like what that city that's coming to town, like the Colts are coming to town. Hey, they're known for shrimp cocktail. I'd do a specialty shrimp cocktail. The great steakhouse up there, St. Elmo's. I do a specialty shrimp cocktail, or like, the Rams are coming to town. I do like a Tex-Mex spin on a California burrito, something like that. I would do like a specialty thing every week based on the opposing fan. And I feel like that would be something that's really fun. Texan, appreciate you for joining up as a new member. Thank you. So, Sean, that's what I would do. It's funny you mentioned this. I'm hoping to do a little story here on some of the food that you're headed your way here at NRG and how they come up with it. Gage says, if Emeka Egbuka, the Ohio State wide receiver, and Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas, are both there at 25, who do you draft? I would draft Kelvin Banks Jr., and I would draft him because I believe he has the best long-term. I feel like he can be a steady, counted-on left tackle in this league. While I feel like Egbuka's top end is not as high as Banks. Engineer says, Matthew Golden feels like he might have turned the corner end of last season, could be a superstar. That's probably the biggest thing about Golden is you've got to project out what he can do because he didn't show it on a consistent basis. Now, do you do the thing where you say, hey, like what he did there at the end is the best version of him? Like that's a little bit of a big projection there. I'm not in love with Golden just because I like players who have more consistent production. James R. asks, how's the gym journey going? It's going good. Going good. So I lost a few pounds, want to lose some more. Want to be in, fighting shape by the time training camp gets here, but was out there this morning, hit chest and triceps. And so staying with it. Obviously the travel sort of threw that out of whack, but crunchy bars has to be on there. I don't even know what a crunchy bar is. Who do you prefer, Jimmy Ward or Petrie at the nickel? Well, Jimmy Ward's done it more. I just don't know if they're going to give him the shot or he's going to make the team to be that guy. I don't hate the idea of Jimmy Ward being on this team as sort of a super backup, a sometimes starter. I don't hate the idea. It's not a bad approach. It's not a bad idea. I just don't know if they want to keep him around or he wants to stay around. Yes, that is a great way to describe $100,000. It's like a crunch bar and a Rolo had a baby. It's a great point. Cadbury Crunchy. What is a Cadbury Crunchy? Oh, a Cadbury Crunchy. Interesting. It looks very strange. I will have to chase one of these down. Peanut M&Ms, they're good. I like the caramel M&Ms a little bit too. We're gonna need a food review on Reese's Big Cup Caramel and Chocolate Lava. I've done the Chocolate Lava one. I think I've also done the Big Cup Caramel too. But I think I know I've done the Chocolate Lava. I didn't like it. Big Cup Caramel's good though. James R, can we get a food review Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, another one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Just curious. Sometimes you ask for too much. Cody, I think we're related because those are my top three. 100 grand bar is the GOAT. I love the 100 grand bar. I'm not a new member, Cody. Well, it says new member here, Texan. What are we doing? Oh, did you do upgrade? Maybe. Oh, okay. I got you now, Texan. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the membership. Golden's better than Bond? Yeah, probably. Probably. Bond feels a little one-trick pony-ish. Butterfingers or Kinder Buenos? Engineer, I don't know about this. The Kinder Buenos? Oh, man, I got to go to a specialty store to get the Cadbury Crunchies. Is it the British candy bar? Man, I don't know about all that. Brandon, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can find me a Cadbury Crunchy. Cadbury Crunchy. What a strange candy bar. You know what? I know this, Texan. It said new member, so I just went with I won't trust the YouTubes anymore. I'll trust the folks. Butterfinger salted caramel. Oh, that sounds good. I do love a harmless, clearly a joke, April Fool's joke. Gage asked, "You do anything for the game tonight?" Just taking it easy. I'm gonna cook. I got some chicken that I thawed earlier. I'm gonna do kind of like a taco salad, Mexican salad type thing. Season the chicken up with some spices and salsa, and got some black beans I'm gonna throw in there. So I'm gonna do that and just watch it at the house, and do some maybe some live wagering as things go. So oh, Texan, you're speaking my language now. Local foods, they crush it, man. They crush it. That crunch chicken sandwich is good. It's good. That crunch chicken sandwich is very good. Very good. You're speaking my language. Okay, couple housekeeping notes. Stickers are on the way. We will have the stickers in person for the draft party later this month, as well as I'll have a way for you to sign up to get some stickers. And I don't charge you guys for the stickers. They're my gifts to you. So I'll send some stickers here a little bit later this month after I get them from the printer, which should be sometime this week. Draft party, the 26th. The date is set. The time when the fourth round starts. The place, TBD. TBD. But you will be able to come out and hang out with us and talk about the first 2 days. Watch the third day with us. We will get that for you. We will get that for you. Panda wants the membership link. So the membership link is there. It's also in the description of the video. The membership link is also in the membership, or the membership link is also in the description of the video if you want to sign up. So 26th. Okay, mark it on your calendars. We want to see you. Come by, hang out, have a beverage, eat some food, watch some football, chat with us. It'll be nice. I'll have the stickers with us, have some other fun stuff going on. You don't want to miss out on that. S&L each and every weekday, 4 p.m. You don't want to miss that. And James says, how about throwing some restaurant reviews on Food Review Friday? I got you, James. Got you. We'll get some restaurant reviews in there. Get some restaurant reviews in there. Okay. Appreciate everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the mock drafts, plural. I never like doing just one. Let's have some fun and do two. Got some great stuff coming your way on Houston football, so we'll talk a little bit about that in the future. Appreciate everybody watching. We end the live streams the same way each and every time. I don't know where my banner went. This is my hope for you. This is my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. And we'll talk Texans again soon. Patrick, hold on. Don't go anywhere. I have something for you. Don't go anywhere. So, Pat, if you guys have been in the chat, you've seen Patrick here as he does it on S&L as well. Patrick will say this sometimes, hip-hoppity, dip-doppity do. I want to provide context to this. James says stream more. You're right. I need to stream more. Jay Coop, Cody, can you shout out the Houston Energy ladies football team? Their season starts here soon. I'm the play-by-play guy for them and the official media guy. Jay Coop, that's very cool. Shout out to the Houston Energy, the ladies football team. The season gets going pretty soon. Shout out to the Houston Energy. All right, so you've seen Patrick do this. He says hip-hoppity, dip-doppity do. Okay? Here's the context for this. Watching the video, I said that already. Hope you enjoyed it. Also said that already. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity do. I haven't said that before. Thanks to Bet US, who I'm sure loves that I dropped the hip-doppity, dippity do, which I'll probably never be able to recreate. All right, that's the end of the video. Thanks. Bye, everybody. So when you see Patrick say this, that's the context to it. And thank you for signing back up, Panda. Appreciate that. I leave you with this. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. And now I leave you with this very fine finish. Hip-hoppity, dip-doppity do.